There is a plant growing in the cracks of your driveway right now that contains 15 times more calcium than spinach, 8 times more vitamin C than oranges, and more protein per ounce than beef. For 8,500 years, it helped entire civilizations survive famine, winter, and war. And then, America did something unthinkable. They made it illegal. Chemical companies built a $74 billion industry dedicated to killing it. Most people see this plant every day, yet have no idea what it is. If a plant is this powerful, why do they hate it? In the next few minutes, you'll discover why this single plant beats beef, spinach, and milk in raw nutrition, and why archaeologists keep finding it in Viking graves, Roman settlements, and ancient Native American food stores. You'll learn why modern industries desperately want it erased, and why its ability to grow for free threatens billion-dollar markets. Because in the end, the real reason they fear this plant is not nutrition, it's control. The superfood growing in your driveway. There is a reason this plant has survived where others fail. It doesn't need rich soil, rain, or human care. It grows in the cracks of your driveway, in abandoned lots, beside highways, any place the earth has been disturbed. This weed is lamb's quarters, or Chenopodium, and nutritionally, it outperforms almost everything in the grocery store. 1 cup gives you 15 times more calcium than spinach, 8 times more vitamin C than oranges, and more protein per ounce than beef. But the real shock is how it grows. A single plant drops nearly 75,000 seeds every year, each one capable of waiting in the soil for 4 decades until the right moment to sprout. It survives heat that kills lettuce, drought that burns crops, and soil so poor even weeds refuse it. No irrigation, no fertilizer, no chemicals. This is a self-sustaining superfood designed by nature, not industry. And in a world built on selling food, anything that grows without permission becomes a threat. The global proof: Vikings, Romans, India, China. Across the world, this plant appears again and again, proof that entire civilizations trusted it long before modern science could measure its power. In Denmark, archaeologists studying Viking bog bodies discovered something astonishing. The last meals of these perfectly preserved people contained Chenopodium seeds. This wasn't famine food, it was normal, everyday nourishment. In ancient Rome, storage pits filled with wheat and barley also held Chenopodium, carefully saved, treated like a crop, not a weed. Across India, people still eat it as batua. In China, it's known as hui and grown as a winter vegetable. In Mexico, it survives as part of the beloved colites, harvested and cooked the same way ancestors did centuries ago. The whole world remembered, only Americans forgot. And forgetting wasn't an accident, it was engineered. If lost foods like this fascinate you, subscribe. The next forgotten crop we uncover is even more unbelievable and even more feared. The collapse: how corn erased 3,000 years of farming. For nearly 3,000 years, lamb's quarters was a cornerstone of North American agriculture, bred, stored, and harvested with the same precision later given to wheat and corn. But everything changed around 1150 AD. Maize arrived from the south, carrying higher calories per acre and fitting perfectly into large field agriculture. Slowly, the ancient Eastern agricultural complex began to collapse. The crops that once fed entire civilizations, little barley, knotweed, maygrass, and domesticated lamb's quarters, were abandoned within just a few generations. And the most tragic part? The Native American domesticated variety of lamb's quarters, selectively bred for thousands of years, disappeared completely. Extinct. Erased. A lineage of agricultural science wiped out almost overnight. When European settlers later arrived, they brought their own Chenopodium species and their own beliefs about proper farming. They dismissed indigenous crops as primitive. The cultural erasure was not accidental, it was a replacement, a rewriting of food history, and with every lost seed coat, every abandoned field, America forgot what once fed its ancestors. The suburban war on food. By the 1950s, America rewrote its relationship with the land. Suburbs exploded, the perfect lawn became a symbol of success, and anything that dared to grow without permission was labeled a weed. Lamb's quarters, once a superfood grown for 8,500 years, suddenly became the enemy. Chemical companies saw opportunity. After World War II, a powerful compound called 2,4-D, originally developed during biological warfare research, was repackaged as a friendly suburban lawn spray. Homeowners were told that real beauty meant grass and nothing else. Lamb's quarters spread fast in disturbed soil, so it became target number one. HOAs began writing rules banning noxious weeds, and families could be fined for allowing edible plants to grow in their own yards. America wasn't killing weeds, it was outlawing food. By the 2000s, the herbicide and weed control market exploded into a $74 billion industry, built on poisoning one of the most nutritious plants on Earth. The message was clear: anything that feeds you for free does not belong in a world built on profit. The nutritional truth they can't sell you. If lamb's quarters grew in grocery stores instead of driveways, it would be called a miracle superfood. One cup contains 464 milligrams of calcium, while spinach offers just 30. It carries 8 times more vitamin C than spinach, over 7 times the daily vitamin K requirement, and more iron and protein per ounce than many leafy greens marketed as premium. Side by side, it outperforms kale, spinach, lettuce, and nearly everything sold in the produce aisle. And here's the part industries cannot stand. You can't patent it. You can't genetically modify it for profit. You can't make people buy seeds, fertilizers, or packaged greens when this plant grows for free in the cracks of the sidewalk. It asks for nothing. No irrigation, no chemicals, no perfect soil. It heals land, feeds families, and multiplies endlessly. To a $95 billion leafy greens market and a booming supplement industry, that is the real threat. Because when nature gives you calcium, vitamins, minerals, and protein for free, no one profits when nature feeds you. Why industries need you to hate it? There is a reason you were taught to fear this plant. It threatens too many billion-dollar industries at once. The leafy greens market depends on people buying spinach, kale, and lettuce, foods that require irrigation, transport, packaging, and fertilizer. Calcium supplements are a multi-billion business on their own. Vitamin companies make fortunes selling C, K, and iron in capsules. But lamb's quarters delivers all of this for free. And free nutrition is a direct competitor. Seed companies cannot control it. Each plant drops 75,000 seeds that last 40 years. Fertilizer companies cannot profit. This plant heals soil instead of draining it. Herbicide companies lose billions if people stop seeing it as a weed. So the system did something simpler than banning it outright. They taught you to hate it. They renamed food as a pest. They turned medicine into something to spray with poison. Because if people knew a plant stronger than spinach, richer than milk, and more nourishing than most vegetables was growing in their driveway, they wouldn't need the industries built on selling what nature gives for free. The return. Climate chaos is bringing it back. Climate change is rewriting the rules of farming, and almost every major crop is struggling to survive. Wheat collapses in heat waves. Spinach burns in rising temperatures. Lettuce fails without constant irrigation. Corn withers in drought. But lamb's quarters does not care. It was built for chaos. This plant survives on a few drops of rain. It thrives in heat that destroys entire fields. It grows in soil so damaged and dry that even weeds give up. It endures floods because its seeds stay viable for decades underground. It comes back after storms, after droughts, after fires, after everything that wipes out modern agriculture. Farmers are beginning to notice. In test plots across North America and Europe, researchers are shocked by how well lamb's quarters performs under extreme conditions. When corn shrinks under water stress, lamb's quarters grows taller. When spinach wilts, it spreads wider. When soil becomes so poor it turns to dust, this plant regenerates it, pulling nutrients back to the surface, loosening compacted earth, rebuilding fertility without chemicals. It does all of this without irrigation, without fertilizer, without human effort. It is survival, written into a seed. That is why climate scientists are quietly paying attention. They know that the crops feeding 8 billion people were designed for a world that no longer exists. They know that food systems built on stability cannot withstand the storms that are coming. And they know something even more unsettling. The food of the past may be the only food of the future. Lamb's Quarters is returning, not because we planted it, but because the world now needs a plant strong enough to survive what is coming. The truth they never wanted Americans to learn. Here is the truth almost no one was ever meant to see. This plant was not forgotten. It was erased. Erased by language, they stopped calling it food and renamed it a weed. Erased by chemicals, billions spent spraying poison on a plant that once fed civilizations. Erased by lawn culture, suburbs built an entire identity around destroying anything that grows without permission. Erased by corporate agriculture, because a plant that grows for free threatens every business built on selling you nutrition. For generations, Americans walked past the most nutritious plant in their environment without ever learning its name. Not because it was dangerous, not because it was unhealthy, but because it refused to make anyone money. You weren't taught to fear this plant because it's dangerous. You were taught to fear it because it's free. And anything that grows freely becomes a threat to the systems that profit from your hunger. This plant survived 8,500 years of human history. It survived extinction, colonization, and chemical warfare. It survived every attempt to erase it from memory. And today, it is still waiting outside your door. Strong, quiet, unchanged. It is proof that nature never forgets. Only we do. If you want more buried knowledge like this, subscribe. Your likes and your comments keep these earth secrets alive and protect the wisdom they tried to erase. The next vault is already opening.